So this one was... so I stumbled upon this to myself and then messaged it to myself so I didn't forget about it. Then my partner sent me a Instagram reel or something for it.
Yeah.
Then I think it was Jassa emailed it to me. So this has been sent to me by multiple people, myself included. Thank you for redeeming the hydrate. It's one of the
biggest things happening right now.
I'm actually out of water right now, so before I reveal what this story is, I will go get some water.
Fuck you, I'm gonna reveal it. Jesus
Entertain
Christ.
my audience, Suris.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so obviously I've got to talk about this since Rhino wants to go get fucking water at that exact moment. Thank you, y'all. This is one part y'all's fault and one part Rhino's fault. So, here's what's happened. A bunch of text messages got leaked. Now, that may not seem like something. This is from Young Republicans chats. But by Young Republicans, this is not like 12 and 13-year-olds who just got indoctrinated randomly. This is people who were like 30 and 40. I guess young compared to the fossils that run our country is what we're working with. So I'm going to just quote some of the text messages. If we ever had a leak of this chat, we'd be cooked for real, for real. They love the watermelon people. Stay in the closet, F-slur. You're giving nationals too much credit, and you're expecting the Jew to be honest. Great. I love Hitler. Everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber. And also, one of my favorites, apparently one of these text messages was that rape is epic.
Oh, did you already spoil? I was gonna
I told you I was going to
edge them a little longer. I was gonna edge them a little longer.
I told you exactly what I was going to do when you decided to go off and get water.
You told me that after I took my headphones off.
Unfortunate.
Thank you for the hats, Content 83. Hat. All right.
Daughter of Tiamat says, would you say about 1488 texts were leaked?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Politico. I love Hitler. Leaked messages expose young Republicans' racist chat. Thousands of private messages reveal young GOP leaders joking about gas chambers, slavery, and rape. We're going to get into J.D. Vance's response to this later on in the tweets, but just keep in mind as we're going through this article and we see pictures of these people that in his... I don't have the video, but I have one of his tweets, or I have someone's tweets, but J.D. Vance was very loud about that. He keeps referring to these people as kids, as if they're like 40 teenagers.
They're like 40. I mean, some of them are older than fucking him.
Some of them are young, but yeah, there are like. Here, let's go to the. This is the main guy that was doing most of the racist bullshit. Yeah, that's not a kid.
No, you know what else he's not? He's not the fucking Aryan race. It's wild to me how much these guys like doing the goose step when they are the ones that would have been locked in the fucking gas chambers. Wild.
Okay, yeah, content warning, slurs, sexual assault, anti-Semitism, mass murder. I'm not actually going to say the slurs.
Guys, we're talking about Nazis. Guess what? Nazis say Nazi stuff. If you're not prepared for that, click off the video. You don't actually need a trigger warning for that when you know we're talking about Nazis.
Yeah, so he referred to black people in very derogatory ways.
He called them watermelon people.
Yeah.
That was what he used, watermelon people.
And called them monkeys.
No, well, yeah, because he had the, what was the specific thing? If I wanted to watch a bunch of monkeys play ball, I would go to the zoo, was what was said. And he's talking about the NBA, by the way.
Yes. Yep. He mused about putting his political opponents in gas chambers, talked about raping their enemies and driving them to suicide, and lauded Republicans who they believe support slavery. Mm-hmm. He used the N-word, variations on it, more than a dozen times. Bobby Walker, the chair of the New York State Young Republicans at the time, not anymore, he referred to rape as epic.
Yep, that's the one I was just posting.
Peter Giunta, that's the guy that I already showed you, I think. He was at the... No, that's not Peter. That's... that is Peter. Okay. So yeah, he was the vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans.
I fucking love Meteor Golem!
No, sorry, that was the other guy.
Shoutout, thank you for the subscription. Thank you, Gideon, as well. Yeah, Republicans in high positions of leadership.
Yes.
Like, that's the running
not the official
theme.
Republican Party, but Republican-affiliated groups.
It doesn't have to be the official Republican Party. It can be Turning Point USA. It can be the Heritage Foundation. It can be the fucking Young Republicans chat from somebody's high school. I don't give a fuck.
So remember, also keep in mind when talking about what's his face's response, the Young Republican National Federation is for Republicans between the ages of 18 and 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to be fair, I have referred to anyone under the age of 25 as a child in the past.
But every one of these people was an adult.
And I stand by that. However, legally speaking, they are adults.
Yeah, every person here is an adult. Every single one of these people has had plenty of time in civilized society to understand the ramifications of what they said. These are not misinformed, misaligned youngsters who just need a pat on the back in the right direction to fix their lives up. No, these are established racists. These are established warmongers. These are people who, when you ask the question that everybody ever has asked in regards to the Holocaust, how could that happen? This is how. This is the exact way how. Because on the one hand, there are people who are misinformed or are ill-informed, who don't know enough about what the regime is doing, and as a result, they end up just seeing this stuff happen, and they fall by the wayside going, well, I don't have time to listen to the news. Those people are, in every sense of the word, part of the problem, simply because they're not actively trying to stop what's going on. They're not informing their friends, neighbors, etc. But for every one of those people, I promise you, there is one of the people in this chat. There is one of the types of people in this chat that is saying rape is epic when you're asking about abortion. When they say, no, the life of the mother needs to be preserved. And when you say in the case of rape, do you mean the same thing? And that person is holding one hand up to their mouth chuckling and holding the other hand down to their pants, fucking jerking it to the idea. I promise you. So.
And Jess is also pointing out that one of the people involved in this was the state senator.
Yes.
So, yes, sometimes actually affiliated with the actual Republican Party directly.
It's people in power. That's the problem. It's not that there's some people who said some edgy things. It's people who have direct control of your life who are saying these things. And if they're saying those things in the back, behind closed doors, guess what the fuck policy positions they are supporting? They do euphemisms in the front end because this is how they talk on the back end. Okay. Also, Mion and Stankfoot, holy fucking shit. Thank you for the 10,000 bits that moved us well past a level 2 hype train. Also, that's enough to make me blue, which I don't. Why do you guys make me do those when Rhino is here? That's what I'm forced to say it in a way that Piper's gonna record.
That's one of Piper's favorite parts of the job, I think.
Is that why Piper posted showing gay unicorn Gary to me over on Blue Sky as well?
Yes, wearing the uwu mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear, one day in the past this might have been a bit, but now I feel like it's just genuine anger. I don't know when that metamorphosis happened for me.
But it has. People in the YouTube chat are, I don't know, they're arguing about the whole like child until you're 25 thing. Talking about like the study that showed that
when your brain stops maturing. Here's the thing.
I wasn't talking about a study. I was talking about like my perception of people.
I will say
if you're
this.
under 25, I perceive you as a child.
I perceive somebody who has had a lack of lived experiences as more childlike. But once you are 18, you are an adult. You are responsible for the things an adult would be responsible for. For instance, if a 16-year-old runs over somebody with a car, they legally are allowed to drive a car. I don't care that they're 16 anymore. I care that they ran over somebody with a car. That is the thing that matters here. Once you have accepted that mantle of responsibility at a certain age, you get the other things that come with that mantle of responsibility.
So Jess is saying, so at 28, am I a teen? No, because a teen is still a child. At 28, you're 28. But also, I briefly dated a 28-year-old before I ended up with my current partner. And the result of that experience was like, 28 is like the youngest I would be willing to go, because that was like, even that was like, there was such a difference there. It was like, we had some fun. It's not a relationship.
You want to be with somebody who's at the same stage as you are in life. who does not have to go through and learn those life lessons. You want somebody who you're not having to teach those things.
I do not understand the old man with young woman thing. I do not get it.
I think it's two things. It's one, power. It's not every situation is this way. Sometimes people naturally fall into those situations with those age gaps. Also, I want to say real quick again, Mion and Stankfoot, real quick, before I get into anything else, that was a really fucking generous donation. Thank you so much for dropping that many bits on the stream. But in those situations where you've got such a huge age gap, there's three scenarios that happen. Scenario one, it's somebody who really wants an amount of power. They like having a partner who can be infantilized to a degree because it is easier to control that partner. Scenario two, sometimes people just happen to find themselves in there. Like when you've got a coworker who just happens to be like a decade younger than you, but you feel like you click and you're attracted to them. That can happen. The other scenario outside of that, outside of power, or you just happen to fall into that, is there are some people who, for some reason, their sexual preferences just do not age with them, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, as I've gotten older, I've gotten far more attracted to people who are in my age range, who I might not have found as attractive when I was, 15, 16, 17. For some people, I think that just doesn't happen for them. And then it can lead into that issue of power as well after that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand that. So I understand it from the physical perspective, but from the I actually want to have a relationship with my romantic partner. I just don't understand that.
Yeah, I can see that. Also, we finished a hype train at level 5. Jesus Christ. And I think there are some circumstances, like let's say you've got somebody who's got that age gap with you, but you have a lot of similar interests, you enjoy doing a lot of the same things, and you have a lot of lived experiences on the same keel. Like, this is not a person who's having to learn how to do basic adult things while you are, a 10-year established adult. Because, there's a difference between a 40-year-old and a 30-year-old versus a 30-year-old and a 20-year-old.
This is true, but I feel like that difference is going to get bigger as I get older. I feel like that might be... Because I remember being a teenager being like, the age gap's not that big a deal. I'd date a 30-year-old woman.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like, ooh, 30 might be a bit young for me.
Yeah, that's fair. I think for me, the age gap isn't as big a thing so long as it's a scenario 2 thing. Like, if it's these two people, they're co-workers, or they meet up at card shop, or whatever, third place they happen to be at, there's an attraction there, and then things build up naturally from there. I don't think I'm ever going to have a problem with that scenario happening, but there are people who seek out that first scenario a lot, where they want somebody a lot younger because it's somebody they can infantilize and somebody who they have a lot of power over. That's the kind of thing that freaks me out. And I know that that's something that, Republicans were fighting for in Tennessee when they were trying to get, arranged marriages to still be allowed to be on the book as a child marriage thing, as a special kind of marriage. That shit freaks me out, because what does a 16-year-old and a 28-year-old have in common?
They can drive a car.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. You may like the same video games, but in terms of life experiences, y'all are way off from one another.
I actually got a little bit mad.
I've made the unfortunate mistake of making all fan art canon, and you guys use that to make a ton of doppelgangers of me that try to ruin my life. So why not go ahead and celebrate that cacophony by picking up the new channel playmat over on Fourth Wall. When you pick up the playmat, take a picture and throw it up on social media tagging me so I can feature you in a future video. Thank you so much, and let's get back to the video.
When one of the biggest Hollow Knight streamers, who had been streaming for years, in one of his fairly recent streams, talked about how he's getting out of high school now and he might take a couple years off to just be a streamer before he does any college. I'm just like, what the fuck? It's like his voice sounds like it could be I pegged him as mid-20s, somewhere in there. Clearly young, but not that young. And I was like, oh my god, I feel so old.
Terrelin, thank you for subscribing. God damn it, fucking Jet! Ooh. There you go. You got your fuck off.
Yay. Okay, back to these stupid text messages. So everyone that votes, so PG is the guy that I showed you earlier, the old guy, who's definitely not a child. Everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber, and everyone that endorsed but then votes for us is going to the gas chamber. He lost the election he's talking about, by the way, just for the record. BW says, when do we start bullying, dude? BW is Bobby Walker. He's one of the guys that looks like he is on the younger side, but definitely an adult. We have a solid 3 people who have, if they vote for us, why would they be gassed? To which PG responds, we only want the true believers.
Remember, these are the people who are running in elections right now. Just out of curiosity, do you think you could beat one of these fucking yahoos in an election? Probably, because this is the shit they're saying behind the scenes. If so, maybe you should be running for something. It's almost like there's a website called Run for Something specifically designed so that you can do that when shit like this pisses you off.
Oh, I think I did this offline before we went live, but YouTube has changed a bunch of shit about how their live streaming. I don't think any of it should really affect anything here. But something went wrong, and I blamed YouTube for it because they made changes, and when have their changes ever not made things go wrong? But one of as I was reading the article on it, one of the things that it was doing was trying to explain the importance of interacting with your audience while live streaming, and it was like, have you ever been at a concert with thousands of people holding up a sign, and then for a moment the singer makes eye contact with you and does a little nod or whatever? When you read someone's username out, that's just like that.
I do not think that I am anywhere near that level of superstar, but okay, sure,
so
why not?
According to YouTube, I am like Bon Jovi, because if I say your name, Secular Storm Chaser 007, that makes you feel just as special as if you made eye contact with Bon Jovi at one of his concerts.
Yeah, Sean Helfin and Renee Wojak and Terilyn and
holy
Jet
shit!
Fatigue.
Don't just give it out to anyone, Suris.
You're
Come on,
right.
keep your legs closed. You
Knocky Bree says, "Say
slut.
my name, Suris." Oh, is that what you're into? Saying your name? Fucking
oh my
hell.
god, they're so much older than me when it comes to writing this stuff, and that's corny as heck. Yeah, no, it was super corny. They didn't actually use Bon
thank you for
Jovi as
your
an
points for
example. That was just me because
fucking
I'm old.
degen.
I'm actually not old enough for Bon Jovi to have been the music of my childhood, but Bon Jovi's pretty solid, so.
Thank you for the hydrate, Tal.
All right. Back to this thing.
I saw I'm ready to watch people burn. Isn't that cool and cute?
That's Joe Maligno, who let's see, I don't know, do they have a picture of Joe Maligno in this one? That's one of the younger looking ones.
Man,
still an adult.
God, he looks like the spitting image of the master race, doesn't he? Look at that.
Yeah.
Man, maybe if he ran the master race, he would lose a few of them. I'm kidding. I'm not going to go that far. But
well, Joe Maligno looks like Steve Miller. Like, he looks like if Steve Miller didn't. He looks like he sucked all of Steve Miller's charisma out of him. So he's like if Steve Miller had an ounce of charisma, which was all he had to start with.
do you feel like each and every one of these people, they go to sleep sad?
I hope so.
Tasia says Peter Griffin gone Groiper. Oh my god. I can't unsee that now.
Yeah, no, that's accurate. That is very accurate.
I hate that that's accurate because, on the one hand, I do not think fat shaming people does any good. I do not think making fun of people's looks does any good. On the other hand, when you're the motherfucker doing the master race bullshit, you should at least be an exemplary model of that fucking race instead of looking like a goddamn joke.
Like the golden one. He's a good-looking fella in good shape. Probably juices, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, no, I can't say anything bad about his appearance other than
it's just
I'm not really into muscles. But
if you're gonna be the person that brings appearance into the conversation, and every master race motherfucker does, because that is what that is about, then you should at the very least look like the default model in a video game and not like one that required the slider to get.
Anyway, I do love their responses when asked about their comments. So this is Gayanta? This guy. Old motherfucker. He says these logs were sourced by way of extortion and provided to Politico by the very same peoples conspiring against me.
So they're real.
What's most?
So
yeah,
they're
no.
real.
So that's
Wild.
the fun thing. That's the fun thing here is that they are trying to do a maybe it is, maybe it isn't sort of thing. So he says, what's most disheartening is that despite my unwavering support of President Trump since 2016, rogue members of his administration, including Gavin Wax, have participated in this conspiracy to ruin me publicly simply because I challenged them privately.
Maybe you should have challenged the idea of burning the Jews.
So now
Maybe
this
that
is
was a good idea to challenge.
Yeah, maybe. This is continuing, same guy making the statement. I'm so sorry to those offended by the insensitive and inexcusable language found within the more than 28,000 messages of a private group chat that I created during my campaign to lead the Young Republicans.
Then why did you endorse it? Why did you endorse that language? Like I don't give a fuck about your
He used
apology.
the language.
I want an explanation. I don't give a
So
flying
this
shit
is where he's trying
about
to,
the apology. I want the
he's trying
explanation.
to have his cake and eat it too here. He says,
He certainly had a lot of that.
While I take complete responsibility, I have had no way of verifying their accuracy and am deeply concerned that the message logs in question may have been deceptively doctored. Notice he didn't just come out and say, no, that's not how I talk in private. This is clearly
It was
fake, because
deceptively
anyone who knows me, anyone who knows me knows that this wouldn't be me. That's not what he said.
But people who know him know it would be him.
He was like, I'm so sorry about this language, but I'm pretty sure that maybe it was doctored.
Dude really sitting there with the, I'm sorry you all got offended. Look, my guy, you should not be sorry that people got offended. You should be sorry you said those fucking things. And since you said those fucking things, you deserve to be lambasted for the rest of your career. This needs to be a growing moment for you. And if it is not, then this should be a takedown moment for you. There is no in between.
Yeah. And then Politico points out, more like this is what I think is the most important part of the article, but it's like halfway down. Like, come on, don't bury the lead. I say the private rhetoric isn't happening in a vacuum. It comes amid a widespread coarsening of the broader political discourse, and as incendiary and racially offensive tropes from the right become increasingly common in the public debate. So this is what you were saying earlier about how like these are leaders of the Republican Party. Mm-hmm. If they're not actually in the Republican Party, these are like the up-and-coming next guys to lead the party. This is the official party line, and this is how they talk in private, so of course it's going to come out in public. Of course, like, being this vile and reprehensible in private is going to bleed out into their policies. So, yeah. This just takes me, like, I hate to go back to this, as, I mean, I haven't done it in a while, but I remember being in the Christian school that I went to during the whole Bill Clinton thing. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing there was like, oh, it's just a blowjob. Whatever. Who cares what he does in the privacy of his own? Like, who cares what he does in the private life as long as that doesn't affect what he does in the policy? And all the Christian teachers at my Christian school that I heard them talk about this we're all very much of the opinion that whatever you do in your private life, it will bleed into the public life. You cannot be a bad person in private and then turn around and do good policies.
You know, the person you are behind closed doors is the real person who you are.
But the same people that said that about Bill Clinton are now Trump supporters.
Yeah, it's called Republican Party. They recognize that flaw in other people, and they are willing to use that as a weapon against those other people. Period. This is why I am happy to be a streamer that does not have a very functional filter, because I get to very happily just be the same person in multiple spaces without having to wear weird masks and do weird apologies whenever like a side of myself that I'm ashamed about publicly comes out. I don't have to worry about that shit happening. Life's great.
Do you guys remember when Suris threatened to bomb Fox News?
I remember. I did it in response to what Jesse said. If Jesse would like to rescind what he said, then I'll rescind what I said. But until that moment comes, I stand by that.
I mean, he did say that it was a joke, and then we clarified by saying that we were joking. So
you're right. You did clarify that.
And this is why neither of us will ever hold public office.
Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Blitzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.